Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. On my trip to Flushing, I stopped at Jimmy's place and came out with a couple of wrenches and a scraper. And I decided that tonight I was going to clean the wrench. The slugging wrench was the one that I picked first. The Airco wrench, it's actually too modern. It's something I used every day. The slugging wrench has got some history to it. Since it was stamped with USS and S.A.E in numbers that didn't correspond to anything that I was aware of, I looked it up. It seems that the designations were outdated in 1920. The Society of Automotive Engineers, S.A.E, decided that they were going to go by the size across the flats. In other words, the gap of the wrench itself to designate the size, which made more sense because, well, we've all seen square nuts that don't match the standard hex nut as far as size. So a 3/8 hex nut is usually smaller than a 3/8 square nut. That makes it difficult when you're trying to say, okay, this wrench is A. The wrench doesn't fit the bolt thread. The wrench fits the size of the nut or the flats on the head, whether it's a square head or a hex head. Made it a more simple process to pick out a size. Also, you could standardize that pretty easily. Since bolts and nuts were no longer being made by hand in a blacksmith shop with hand-filed threads, the threads could be standardized and dies were made to cut them to a consistent size, and you can now buy a die that will thread almost any thread. So, having said all that, let's take a look at what I did with the wrench. I just wanted to clean it up and find out a little bit more about it. Then this is called a slugging wrench. And it's a I don't know, can't read it, LI40. First step is to carve off the rust with a wire brush. Then we'll see where we go from there. The surface is too rough for the fiber wheel to take care of, so I'll get the sander out. 5/8 USS, 3/4 S.A.E. Those numbers are kind of funny because it's actually 1/16 from jaw to jaw. So 1/16 translates into 5/8 USS and 3/4 S.A.E. There's no identifying marks other than the sizes stamped on the one end of the wrench. Now this could be a wrench that was broken or cut off to make into a slugging wrench, because usually a slugging wrench has a much larger section on the opposite end of the handle from the jaws. If you have any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union, without the express written permission of the parents or legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.